Okay, Professor. The topic of our presentation, which we decided, is analysis of Pakistan sports policy 2005 revised. Uh, After looking the policy, the following aims were mentioned in the documents. The main policy aim was promoting sports in the country by developing sports at grassroots level. And the reason behind this was the declining sports standard uh, in the country has been deeply concerned the government to take remedial measures and bring the changes which may remove flaws and bottleneck for the smooth functioning of the sports institutions and revive the booming past of 60s, because in the 60s Pakistan won a lot of medals. So in this regard, in the policy, they mentioned that sports at grassroots level, which is mentioned that tehsil and district level are merely just formalities and not on the mark. So, in this present setup, Pakistan Sport Board, Pakistan Olympic Association, National Sports Federation, provincial sports bodies, association, departments, educational institutions are main sports organizing agencies, or in other words, it's are the main stakeholder, because all these stakeholders, one way to another, organize various sports activities annually in Pakistan. But the problem was, especially federations have their own constitution and do not at time abide by the provision, perhaps due to the hegemony of influential office barrier who has been occupied position in the federation from decades. Uh, and also, the sports facilities in the province are not up to date. Very few stadiums and gymnasium with proper facilities exist in the country. So these are the main driving forces for revising of the sports policy 2005 um, in Pakistan. Thank you.
In 1947, a new Pakistan came into being, and sports has been an important part of the Pakistan government policy since then. But then, the Ministry of Education was responsible for sport between 1947 and 1958. With the expansion of sporting activities in 1958, the authorities deemed it necessary to create a very dedicated structure to run sport activities. And thus, in 1959, they created the Pakistan Sports Control Board. And that was to manage and promote sports at national level. However, in 1962, through the ordinance of through the ordinance number 16, which was called the Pakistan Sports Control Board, more functions and power were granted to this board now. And with this more independence, the Pakistan Sports Control Board now exercises the authority of central government, that's throughout Pakistan. But in 1962, the board rebranded to Pakistan Sports Board by the Ministry of Education, which accorded it a corporate body status. And it was for the reasons that it should promote and develop uniform standards of competition and control sports on a national basis. Now, I'll talk about the structure of the Pakistan Sports Board. Pakistan Sports Board has an executive committee which comprises of 14 members, and these are tasked with initiating executive actions and implementing policies. Moreover, the Pakistan Sports Board is responsible for 41 national sport federations throughout the country. In 1967, the Pakistan government formed a national sports committee which was tasked to observe and evaluate the performance of Pakistan Sports Board, especially with regard to elite sport, and to provide suggestions for improvement of support standards at domestic and international level. A decade later, the PSB's responsibilities were transferred to the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism. Pakistan's government did not have a comprehensive sports policy until 2001, and currently Pakistan uses the 2005 sports policy, which is a revised version of the 2001 sports policy. Thank you.
Okay, so in the policy, they mentioned lots of problems, but we will see some of the problems here. Some of them are dominance of influential office barrier in sports federation. Another one is declining standard of sports, lack of interest in the national and provisional level of games due to poor standards. Then insufficient sporting facilities at the grassroots level, declining in the talent production from educational institutes, inadequate coordination and organization of tournaments at various levels. But for this presentation, we will talk about specifically dominance of influential office barriers in a sports federation. So our problem is that because the federations have their own constitution, but they don't really follow it. So because of the influential people, they have dominance and they stay in the same position for decades. And why the policy is made? So because of the declining standards of sport, the government took the action and to remove the flaws and bottleneck for a smooth functioning of the sports institution and revive the booming past of 60s. As we already mentioned, in 60s they used to won lots of medals, so they want to revive that stuff. So that's why the policy was made. And the policy decision, it was mentioned in the policy that in section 5 named tenure restriction of office barriers, the problem we are talking about, the main problem we are focusing on, the clause 1, it says one tenure of any members in the federation will last for 4 years. That means one tenure is equal to 4 years. But for president, honorary secretary and treasurer, it will be they can serve for only maximum 2 tenures. That means they can serve for 8 years only. But in the same federation, on the same post, they can serve for 8 years. But after that, they will be ineligible to serve in the same federation on the same post. However, they can get elected for the higher level of post, but not the lower level of post. So that's how they make this decision, and they have come up with this decision. So these are some key factors which may affect the decision making process of the policy. First one is declining standard of sports, which is a really obvious one, which totally affect the policy making process. Second one is input from athletes, coaches and sports administrators. Third one is consultations with national and provisional sports federation, analysis of international best practices and standards. Then after that it would be consideration of available resources and funding allocation, which is one of the major one which may affect the decision making process. And last one is public opinion and media coverage of sports related issues. So these were some factors which affect the decision making process of the policy. Thank you.
So we have 7 associations where
main stakeholders in the agenda setting phase of the sports policy. The government of Pakistan, particularly the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Youth Affairs. So this is the main umbrella of all the other stakeholders. All the other stakeholders affiliate to the government of Pakistan, the Ministry of Sport. So we have Pakistan Sports Board. My colleague Felix did mention like the responsibilities of the Pakistan Sports Board, specifically the executive board, which is to undertake the task to assist in policy implementation. The third one is the Pakistan Olympic Association, and fourth one is the National Sports Federations. Each national sports federation should explain or plan the criteria for registration of a club. Then we have provincial sports boards, which are tasked to instruct district sports officers. The district sports officers are responsible to register clubs. That is at district and tehsil sports officers level. Lastly, we have educational institutions. So all these institutions I have highlighted, they organize various sports activities annually in Pakistan.
Now, when it comes to outcome and impact measurement, Pakistan sport policy revised 2005 can be measured in different ways, but here are 7 points that we decided to highlight. The first one is participation rate in sports at grassroots level. So as my colleague mentioned, that's one of the aim of the revision of that sport policy. So we will be able to see if the rate of participants increased at the grassroots level, which is one of the most important things, not only for Pakistan sport, but for other sports as well. The second one is improvement in the standard of sports competition. So even if many people are participating at the grassroots level, if the standard, the sport is also improved so that to reach a standard level, a standard to make competition standards, that's very good too. Now, the third one is increase in number of registered clubs and participants. We believe that with the participation rate raise and with standard sports competitions, it will be possible also that the registered number of clubs and participants will increase. And hence, the fourth one, enhancement of sports infrastructure at provincial and district level. So that's one of the most important things too. Success of Pakistani athletes in national and international level. We can say that a policy is working very well when we are able to remark the performance of different athletes at various competitions. So that's one tells more about that. And the next one, evaluation of the effectiveness of sports academies and in talent development. A special accent is also on sports academies. So there will be noticed if they are able to develop talent in the different participants in these different academies. Now, the last one, assessment of level of coordination and collaboration among stakeholders. We'll also check about the working relation between stakeholders. Okay, so these are the different ways we can assess the impact or the outcome of Pakistan sport policy.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
for
Professor.
listening to the presentation.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you, Professor.
Okay.